Page 38, he's got the whole world in his hands, a very well-known spiritual, at least here in the United States it is. At the top of page 38, they're introducing you to the primary chords in B-flat major. The primary chords work the same in all major and minor keys. The numbers are the same. The feeling and so, except for the black keys, is the same. In B-flat major, you have two black keys, a B-flat and an E-flat. You can do the scales, and I hope you are doing the scales. You get used to just playing the notes in B-flat major. You just play the notes in the scale. You automatically play B-flats and E-flats. One chord is built on step one of the scale here. It's a B-flat chord. That's fine. The 4 chord is built on the 4th step. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 5 or 5/7 chord is built on the 5th step. Or the 5/7, yeah. And then we use close position. And again, it's the same thing. You take the position for the 1 chord, and to get the 4 chord, you simply, the top 2 fingers go up 1 note in the scale. So this goes up to an E-flat, it's the next note in the scale, and this goes up to a G. That gets you from the 1 to the 4. It's the same as all the others. And C, we had here, go up. This goes up in the scale. Well, we're using white keys in C major. Here. In the 5 chord, I start with a 1 chord position. And we do the 5/7, by the way. The bottom note goes down a half step. And I use the top 2 notes in the position. Same with C. Go down a half step and use the top 2 notes in the position. Primary chords. It is the same way in all major and minor keys. It works the same. The close position thing, the adjusting, is the same. It's just in minor we're using harmonic minor. But we'll deal with that when we get to the minors. You get used to seeing them in the music too, because when you can see these chords, whether it's a block chord or a broken chord, and you recognize it as the chord, it makes reading the music a lot easier. Let's talk about this world thing here. I look it over, it's a little over a page long of music. Now it's longer than that because of the DC, but it's a little over a page of music to learn. The clef signs, at least to start, a treble and bass clef. The key signature is 2 flats. We already know we're in B-flat major, so go ahead and do the scales. Probably ought to be doing the arpeggios too, at least 1 octave arpeggios. In B-flat major and G minor, do the minor scale too. Just do it for the key signature. B-flat major and G minor, whatever. Whatever your teacher wants you to do is fine. And common time or 4/4 time. Right hand first, let's check the fingering and rhythm and all. Now we have a pickup measure at the beginning. We're coming in on the and of 3. 3 and 4 and. A little asterisk thing, I'll talk about that later. Let's just deal with the notes and all. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and you come out up here, all right, because it's the only note there. You just lift your fingers up, you're fine. Even with big hands, you can do that. So the first full measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and that B is tight. You lift up though on the end of B4, 4 and then 1 and 2 and. We're playing on the ends. 1 and 2 and that's tied. Second full measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and second finger comes down. Rhythm's the same. Yeah. Now at the top of page 39, the first measure, it's here. They want here. That's fine, except I'm out of position for the next measure. They want 2 again. I'm already using 2. So to prepare for going to the next measure, you have repeated notes in the here. I'm going to change there. I'm going to go from 4 to 5 here. And 4 here. Here. Now I can do a 4, 3. Now I'm ready for 2. Now in the second full measure, they have a 2 and 3. That's fine. You can do that too if you want, because it's repeated. I change on repeated notes. Or you can stay on 2. I don't care. And then come up. You read the notes, and the rhythm's the same as what you've been having. Let's look at the left hand. It's got this pattern. This is very common in boogie woogies here, too. Some people would go over, and there's times when you might have to do that, but the preferred fingering is to just come up a little bit. Here. Just rolling here. Da, 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 da. End of the line. Top of page 39. And the second measure there, it's up to you on how you finger it. It's here. I can stay on 2. If I want to, they got 2 here. I don't care. Finger it. And then the last measure, the first line on page 39, this is another very common pattern. 4. Usually you get this over and over and over. This over and over and over. It's kind of awkward in this key, but a lot of pieces will have this over and over. It's kind of a walking ostinato bass pattern. Here is just here 4. You need 4 because you need enough fingers. And yeah, well, okay. I'll put the hands together. And I'll hesitate at first. That's okay. First full measure at the end, that F, the last note, is by itself. So the left hand's got just 1/8 notes. And you can see in the music between the stems how the notes line up in the second full measure. Here, here, here. Now. So you can kind of get the rhythm in the right hand. So go through and put the hands together, and then I'll go back over it slowly, real slow, and get rid of all the hesitation. So it's a steady beat all the way through. Once the hesitations are gone, then I add the articulation. They don't give us a lot. You're lifting up for the phrasing, but you have rests. You're going to lift up anyway. You have a few accents occasionally where you play them a little louder, like the top of page 39, second measure here. Just play those notes a little louder, that's all. In each time on page 39, you get that. You're playing a little louder because of the accents. At the bottom of the page, you got fermatas in the last measure here. That's an amen at the end. Just hold on to those a little longer. How long? You feel it. If I do it with a metronome, I double the value. So I'd hold the quarter note 2 counts and the 8th note 1 count. But you can hold them longer than that. It's like an amen at the end of a piece in a hymnal. It kind of depends on how much you like hearing yourself say amen, I guess. Then after the articulation, I add the dynamics. It applies to the melody in this piece here, this arrangement. It's the right hand. MF-PP. Okay, that means the first time we play it, we're going to play it MF, mezzo forte or moderately loud, the melody. Then on the DC, when we come back and do this the second time, then we're going to play it very soft. If we can. The left hand needs to be in the background, somewhere. Don't care, just somewhere. And then come back very soft. Well, that means the left hand is super duper soft. Then you get a crescendo or a hairpin there at the top of page 39. You're going up to loud in the right hand. The left hand's in the background. That makes the accented notes very loud. Because the accent takes it up a notch from where you're at. Since I'm loud, it's going to be very loud. Now, the coda at the bottom is loud with accents is very loud. I don't know that you really need accents on those, but it has to do with interpretation in many cases. When you have note after note that's accented, like at the bottom, you have all these half notes and they're all accented. One way of interpreting that is to separate those notes slightly. It helps to bring out the accent. You have to separate them anyway. They're chords on piano. You wouldn't connect them because we're not using pedal here, but that's the way of interpreting it. So as far as I'm concerned, the accents and the coda, that's really kind of up to you. Just make sure you're loud, mainly in the right hand. Yeah, and then you get the diminuendo there in the hell note, and a retardando to slow down, and then a very slowly plus fermatus. Isn't that sweet? Okay. And the two chords at the end, the amen, both hands can be the same here. It's not a melody, it's just chords. We're going from here to here. We're going from the 4 chord to the 1 chord. That's a 1 chord. I just put the F on the bottom, or the D on the bottom. That's 4 chord. Yeah. 4-1. Yes, a lot of amens do that. 4-1. Now, the speed. Moderately and rhythmically. I've heard arrangements of this. Some are played very slowly and some are played very fast. Some start slow and speed up and you just have fun with it. This has that little asterisk in the first partial measure there above the F. And if you look at the footnote for that, that's what the asterisk means. It's a footnote. It means you can do this long short. In other words, we can swing the rhythm. And instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Through. And just somewhere in the middle, not fast or slow, just have fun with it. Now the DC all sign then coda, you see it at the end of the 3rd line on page 39. DC, remember, means go back to the beginning. The sign, the circle with the crosshairs, is at the bottom of page 38. And at that point, you simply jump right over to the coda. Something like that. Remember the natural accents? 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel the natural accents as you play these things all the way through. Now, once you can play this at least slowly with no hesitations, let's play it together and check that you have the correct notes and rhythms. I'm going to give us 3.5 counts. I'm not going to do the dynamics, the louds and softs. We're not performing it. We're checking notes and rhythms. That's it. We will do the DC and all that. And the fermatas at the end, I'm just going to hold them an extra beat. That's all. And I am going to swing the rhythm here. Yes. 1 and 2 and okay. 1 and ready and go. beginning.